Before you make one of the biggest decisions of your life, it's so important to know which military branch aligns with who you are and who you want to become. So before you talk to a recruiter, take the time to figure out what branch entices you and aligns with you the most. Hey there, I'm Ty Stebbins, founder of the Warrior Collective, and I have spent years working with over 1,000 recruits, helping them get ready to serve in the military. Today, I want to help you answer a critical question. Which military branch is right for you? The decision isn't just about who has the coolest looking uniforms or the most awesome duty location or the most badass weapons. It's about finding your purpose, your sense of belonging, and finding the right fit for your journey. We'll do a quick breakdown of the branches, provide some resources, and hopefully you'll be able to walk away today between the video and the assessment, figuring out what branch might be the best fit for you. Before we get into the branches, let's start with the question I want you all to consider. Why are you interested in joining the military? What do you hope to gain? What do you want your future to look like? If you are one of my students, I'd actually have you submit a paper and take a moment to really think about it. But are you looking for discipline, adventure, service to something bigger than yourself, college benefits, maybe just to get the frick out of wherever you are? Your why will be what helps align you with a branch. So go ahead, write your thoughts down, pause the video if you need to, or better yet, drop your why in the comments below. I'd love to hear it. And even for you that have been in, I'd love to hear why you joined too. What has been really intriguing to me over the years is that everyone has an enlistment story, and there's always a little bit of humor to them, especially those that end up in the Army and the Marines. But a quick example is that a few weeks ago, I was talking to a dude at Verizon. He was helping me out with a phone upgrade, and I knew he was in the military or had been in the military. And you'll get this military radar where you'll know who's been in. But I asked him, Marines or Army? And he's like, Marines. And so ironically, I was doing a little bit of research for this video, and I'm like, hey, can I ask you why you joined? And he's like, yeah, man, he was graduating high school, and he didn't have a college plan or even really a job plan. And he saw a couple of his classmates that were in uniform that walked the stage. So essentially, they went to basic training during their summer. So between their junior and senior year. And then after they graduate high school, they're going to their tech school. But he was like, they look damn good in their uniform. And he's like, I'm going to do that. And he's like, the Marines look the best in uniform. And so it's based off of how well the Marines look in uniform. And I kind of cracked up because that was not the reason I joined when I started out in the Army. It had nothing to do with the uniforms. But if you happen to know people in the military, ask them why they joined. Ask them how they joined. My goal is for you to take the time to make the decision that is right for you. So to essentially not to talk to the very first recruiter, end up at MEPS, taking the ASVAB, and into whatever branch that recruiter might have been in. So we're going to go through each branch's unique strengths, and I want you to think about which one sounds like you, or which one sounds like the you you'd like to become. So think of this as the 30,000 foot view, where we're briefly breaking down each branch. First up, the Army. The largest and oldest service in the U.S. military, the Army provides ground forces that protect the United States. The Army is rooted in tradition, teamwork, and its core values. It has one of the broadest ranges of career paths and is known for its camaraderie. And camaraderie might not mean much to you right now, but if you talk to anybody that served or you talk to some vets and you ask them what they miss the most, it usually revolves around that. Camaraderie, friendships, that sort of thing. If you're looking for a close-knit squad, tribe, crew, whatever you want to call it, with a strong sense of tradition, the Army could be a fit. So breakdown of the Army by the numbers. There's almost 1 million members in the Army today, and that's broken up through active duty, reserves, and the Guard. There's over 150 different jobs, and you'll hear them referred to as military occupational specialties, or MOSs. You can expect the contract lengths to be between 3 to 6 years, and in the reserves and National Guard, you can expect 4 to 6 years. Bonuses anywhere from $8,000 to $50,000 if that job is having a bonus, And the reserves, you can see anywhere between 15,000 to 20,000. And again, those are going to be job and time specific. Duty locations, the Army has over 150 major installations worldwide. Reserves and National Guard actually have over 2,000 sites throughout the United States. And those sites are spread across the United States and the U.S. territories. So each state actually has multiple Army National Guard units. Deployments, you can expect anywhere between 6 to 12 months, and that varies based on the mission's positives. So a wide range of career options, so lots of different job choices. A strong focus on physical fitness and discipline, and opportunities for leadership and advancement. Negatives, frequent and long deployments, usually to not places that you want to vacation at. Be prepared for extended deployments and lots of time in the field. The Army might just eat more MREs than any other branch in the military. I don't know if that's statistically proven, but I think that's a relatively good assessment. So the Army provides a large range of career paths, strong camaraderie, and regular doses of field training. Next up is the Navy. With a strong focus on technical skills, a maritime mission, and a global presence, the Navy is our forward deployed force that is on, above, and below the water, acting as a major deterrent to aggression all around the world. If you're someone who loves the idea of adventure and travel, and you don't mind the water, the Navy might be a fit for you. Navy by the numbers are approximately at 406,000, broken down between active duty and the reserves. They have 90 different ratings, so different jobs. Contract length for the active duty and reserves is going to be between 4 to 6 years. Bonuses, anywhere from 8 to 50,000, and reserves up to 20,000. Again, those are going to be job dependent and time dependent as well. Approximately 40 plus major installations worldwide. Reserves are primarily co-located with larger installations. Deployments, you can expect anywhere between 3 to 9 months, mostly at sea. All right, positives, opportunities to travel, strong technical training programs, close-knit community aboard ships, whether you like it or not. Negatives, extended time away from the family due to sea deployments. You'll need to be uncomfortable with long periods at sea, sometimes in isolated environments. Join the Navy, see the world, but maybe mostly from the inside of a ship. Air Force. The Air Force is known for its focus on technology and innovation. It provides a rapid, flexible, and lethal air and space capability that can deliver forces anywhere in the world within hours, which is kind of cool. If your why is driven by learning, aviation, and technical expertise, the Air Force offers a huge range of opportunities. So the Air Force, by the numbers, there's approximately 506,000, broken up between active duty, reserves, and the Guard. There's over 135 different AFSCs, so Air Force Specialty Codes. That just means jobs. No idea why it's that long of an acronym. Contract length, you can expect between 4 to 6 years for active duty, as well as the National Guard. Bonuses, anywhere between 8 to 50,000, depending on the job, and in the National Guard, anywhere from 15 to 20,000 as well, depending on the job. There's over 60 different duty stations, bases worldwide. And then for the reserves and Air National Guard, there's over 108 different locations. Deployments, expect anywhere from 4 to 6 months, depending on the mission. Positives, high focus on technology and innovation. Generally a better quality of life because of the base locations and facilities. Some awesome educational opportunities. The Air Force potentially can actually give you an associate's degree from your time in service and the classes that you have taken from the Community College of the Air Force. Negatives. Can be competitive to enter some career fields, just meaning that some jobs are not going to be available to everybody, even though you may have tested super well in the ASVAB. They've earned the reputation of the Chair Force due to its heavy, less field-focused roles, normally like an office environment, and usually the Air Force is going to provide the nicest beds. Not always, but the Air Force is all about tech, innovation, and aviation, but be prepared for consistent jokes that mock the so-called lavish bases and deployments. One thing that I should point out, if you took a poll of military vets and asked them what branch of military their kid should go in, you can probably guess what the answer is. It's the Air Force. Not everybody, I know, not everybody, but it is a pretty common answer. All right, the Marine Corps. The Marines maintain amphibious and ground units for contingency and combat operations around the world. The Corps is all about intense physical and mental toughness. If you're drawn to discipline and you thrive on challenges, the Marines might be the perfect branch for you. Total numbers, you'll notice that there's a significantly amount less compared to the other branches. So approximately 212,000 made up between active duty and the reserves. There's over 80 MOSs, so again, military occupational specialties, and that's jobs. And contract lengths for active duty, you can expect 4 to 6 years, and the reserves 6 years. Bonus, you're gonna have a range from 8 to 50,000, and reserves up to 10,000. There's 19 major installations for active duty, and the reserves have 35 different reserve sites. Deployments can be anywhere between 6 to 9 months. You'll find that they might be a little bit on a lower dwell time compared to what the Army might be. So basically more deployments, potentially more deployments. Positives, strong emphasis on physical and mental toughness, elite combat training, and according to that Verizon dude, they look the best in uniform. So with that sense of camaraderie, you'll hear once a Marine, always a Marine. All right, so negatives, high stress load, high physical demands, and frequent deployments. Most often, they are the first to deploy in any conflict. You become a Marine because you want to be a Marine. You don't necessarily do it for the benefits. Next up is the Coast Guard. The Coast Guard is often focused on domestic missions and has a unique role in rescue operations and maritime law enforcement. Part of the Department of Homeland Security during peacetime, the Coast Guard operates under the Navy in times of war. It is a great fit for those who want to serve closer to home and who might be attracted to the water. By the numbers, approximately 48,000 that are made up between active duty and reserves. There's 40 plus different ratings, so 40 plus different jobs. You can expect the contract length to be between 4 to 6 years. Bonuses, anywhere from $8,000 to $50,000, and reserves 5,000 plus. Duty stations, on the active duty side, there's over 50 within the US, and on the reserves, they have 8 plus installations. Deployments, when they happen, can be expected to be between 3 to 6 months, focusing on law enforcement and potential search and rescue. Positives, mission focused on rescue and law enforcement. Often, you're going to serve closer to home or have easier access to make it back home. Negatives, fewer opportunities for international travel, and fewer duty locations available. The Coast Guard is all about maritime life and property safety and keeping our U.S. waters safe. Finally, the Space Force, which might just be the most intriguing branch out of all of them. Space Force, pioneering the space and cybersecurity world. Space Force protects U.S. and allied interests across the globe. If you're interested in joining something that is new and somewhat unexplored, this could be your branch. Total numbers, they're very few. Approximately 8,000 right now. All Space Force members are currently going through Air Force basic training and then going on to their technical schools. There's about 13 jobs that are available right now, so 13 career fields. Contract length is 4 to 6 years. Bonuses, anywhere from 8 to 50,000. And duty stations, right now there's 6 major bases that they share with Air Force installations. However, they might have temporary assignments to different locations, working with different teams and different Air Force bases. Deployments, not typically deployed as of yet. However, they are getting temporary assignments, as I mentioned before. So positives, newest of the new, focus on cutting edge technology and space operations. Negatives, limited career field options, so limited job options. And then the potential uncertainty for career progression, just because it is so new. So if you're interested in boldly going where not many have gone before, that was pretty bad, and have an interest in cyber and tech, so if you got some nerdery in you, kind of like me, Space Force could be the right place for you. So after all that, if you're still unsure, that is absolutely okay. I expect you to be unsure in which branch, because it's a heavy decision that you have to make. But to help narrow it down, take the time to complete the survey. The link is in the description, and get the quick assessment that ranks the branches based on your answers and gives you a personalized recommendation. Or, you know what? You could be old school. Just take each branch, write it on a piece of paper, put each branch on there, and then write the positives and negatives for each one. It's amazing what taking those thoughts and emotions and putting it on paper will do for you and helping you make a bigger decision. And then for some of you, don't undervalue what your gut says. If your gut instinct is going with a branch, there's something to be said about that. All right. Make sure you check out the next video in this series where we'll break down the differences between active duty, reserves, and the National Guard. And we might just talk about the military's best kept secret. Take care.